Morning, everybody. My name's Peter C. We're here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. And today we're going to look at a 2026 Winnebago Revel 44E. So the 44E is the top of the line as far as the Revels go. You have the Revel Sport, which is the base, and then the Revel 44E. A lot of really cool things about this that make it one of the most capable off-grid adventure vans out there, and we'll get more into that when we get into the interior. But first off, we're going to take a quick tour around the exterior. So some quick notes here. The Revel's built on a Mercedes Sprinter 2500 chassis. This is an all-wheel drive chassis, so no 4x4 anymore. They're all all-wheel drive. It's powered by a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel motor, which makes 211 horsepower and 332 foot-pounds of torque. And you also have a 5,000-pound towing capacity. For those of you that are curious about the dimensions, this has a 144-inch wheelbase. It's 19 feet 6 inches in length, 10 feet, pretty much exactly 10 feet or 120 inches in height, and 7 feet 6 inches in width at its widest point. So we mentioned this is an all-wheel drive. This is actually optioned with the performance stylized wheels, so you get these nice black rims with that little Revel inscribed in there. Just a very neat aesthetic appeal. All of these are going to come with the BF Goodrich KO2 All-terrain tires. So very aggressive off-road tires to complement the fact that this is an all-wheel drive vehicle. Coming around the front, one thing that Sprinter does with this chassis, this is nice, is you can see how high this is, so it'd be kind of hard to reach your windshield if you needed to scrape it off. You actually have a step built in right here with that little rubber grip. So you can stand up there and lean over the hood to be able to clean off your windshield. You don't have to worry about that if you're short. Now, as we come around the front here, real quick, we'll just point out the stock number for this unit. So 5N250880 is the stock number for this exact unit. So if you're interested in it, just reference that number when you give us a call. Now, coming around our other side here, we can see our running boards. So these are exclusive to the Revel 44E. You'll have a different kind on the Revel Sport. So these are sort of an upgrade. What's nice that they've done with these is you actually can't stick your foot through the back of them anymore. So that's one of the issues with the Revel Sport, is people with pets would have their pets jump up and their legs could go through there, but now you don't have to worry about anything slipping through there. This is also much grippier than the previous one. And if you look in here real close, you have these little Revel vans punched in through your running board. So it's a pretty cool detail, just adds that little bit of aesthetic appeal. All right, now, the Revel 44E does not have a black tank. You have a cassette toilet, which is right here. So this is a little 5-gallon cassette toilet. Basically works like a suitcase. You know what? That's locked in there from the inside, but you can take a look and see what this looks like. All you do is you lift up this handle. This whole thing comes out like a small suitcase, and you can dump it anywhere that there's a toilet. So if you're off-grid, in national parks, national forests, anywhere that there's a pit toilet, you can empty this. So makes it a lot more flexibility. You don't have to rely on a campground to be able to pump out a black tank. Just keep it simple. Now, coming farther back here, we have our 30-amp shore power hookup right here. So this is a smart plug, which means this will actually alert you if there's any issues with the ground or neutral for the shore power. So it just keeps you from damaging the electrical systems at all. But again, this is a 30-amp shore power. Oh, whoops, don't want to drop that. Now, coming around the back, we have a new ladder on the 44E as well. And again, if you look close here, we have this Revel punched through here and all the little Revel vans. So really neat style there. Just makes the Revel something unique. Now the ladder is there so we can get up onto the roof to access any of our solar panels. This has 210 watts of solar on the roof, which will complement all of our batteries. So back here in our garage, now on the left side here is where our batteries are housed. So the Revel 44E would come standard with a single 8.4 kilowatt Lithionics lithium battery. This one was actually optioned with the upgrade. So there's an option to double that to 16.8 kilowatts, which is what we have on this one. So 16.8 kilowatts of lithium battery. It's probably one of the most lithium you can get on any B-van setup out there. Now, we mentioned 210 watts of solar, but down here we also have a solar expansion port. So if you wanted to get some accessory solar, like a suitcase solar or something that you lay out in the sun, you can do that. And you can run that wire through these doors while they're closed just fine. Now, Take a look at our garage space back here real quick. So all of the flooring throughout the Revel is going to be this nice durable rubberized flooring. So if you have pets or anything, you don't have to worry about this getting dirty or getting damaged. Back here in our garage, we also have L-track tie downs here. So if you put bicycles or any kind of cargo back here, you can utilize that L-track to be able to tie it down. Now we'll look over here on the right side to where our wet bay is. So this is another one of the upgrades of the Revel 44E over the Revel Sport. Your Revel Sport's only going to have about 24 gallons of fresh water. This actually has 35 gallons of fresh water. So we have 35 gallons of fresh water and 21 gallons of gray water. Back here, we have our freshwater inlet up at the top. We have our water pump switch, and we have a hot and cold water hookup out here. So if you wanted to, take an outdoor shower, you can string a curtain rod across these back doors, and you will have hot water outdoors right here. Now, one more thing to mention while we're standing out here. Another thing we included on this Revel is all of these thermal covers on the windows. So this is just an optional package you can include. You get all these thermal covers that go on every single one of your windows in there. It just really helps improve your insulation. If you're camping in a really hot or really cold climate, it's going to make your climate control just go a little bit farther. Now, we also have a little bit of storage back here in the garage. We just have one little storage compartment right there. And then down at the bottom, there's also going to be a 110 outlet in here. So if you wanted to, plug in a microwave or something, you can do that out here. One thing to mention along with our batteries is this also has a 3600 watt inverter. So you can supply quite a bit of power if you need to. Now, what's really cool about this garage as well is if you see this little screen built into here, what you can do is this right here will drop down. This will zipper on either side, and this now kind of gives you a bug screen. So if you're camping and you want to leave this open, you'll have that screen so you can get all the airflow through here, but you don't have to worry about any bugs or anything getting in there. So it's a pretty cool feature. And when you want to put this away, all we're going to do is roll this up. All the way up to the top. And that's it. Now I'm gonna step around inside and we'll go ahead and lower the bed for you guys so you can see the bed platform we have in here. So the Revel has what's called a Euro lift bed. So it's activated on this switch right next to where I'm standing. I'm just gonna press this button right here and this whole bed is gonna drop down. We gotta make sure those cushions are all the way in place so it doesn't get stuck. And once that's all the way down, you just get your mattress situated into place, and there's our bed for this coach. So this is roomy enough for 2 adults to be able to sleep side by side. You do have the bump outs on either side, so they make a little bit longer than a traditional Mercedes van would be. It actually adds about 6 extra inches of headspace. Now up here, we have a little bit of storage here with these 2 pockets. And on either side of them, we're gonna have USB-A and USB-C charging ports. So good spot to put your laptops, iPads, iPhones, any of your personal devices. You can just put them in this bungees up here and you can charge them right off that. We have a window back here, as well as 2 of these little button lights. So those are kind of your night lights. They're on a switch right on the light itself, so you don't have to get up and go find the light switches. Now these little thermal covers, all of these will actually unzip. So if you don't want to take them off the window, you can just unzip that and let the air flow through there. But these are also magnetic. So if I just pull this away, now we have our window. This is an opening window in the bedroom here. So if you want to unlock this, you can open it out to there, get just a little bit of airflow back in here with you. We also have cassette shades built into the windows. So we have our day shade built into that, as well as our blackout shade. Now, looking to our back wall right here, we do have a 110 outlet here for just some more charging, as well as our light switches right here. And then looking up to the ceiling, so this will come with a 13.5K BTU Coleman Mach AC. Your AC intake and dump is right here over the bed, so your maximum cooling capacity is going to be right here over the bed. And another thing that's nice they do with the Revel, the 44E, is we have this little curtain right here that'll drop down, and I can zip that shut there. So what that'll allow you to do is just kind of keep the air contained a little bit more in your bed while you're sleeping at night. So if you're sleeping in a really hot climate, zipping that down is just really going to help that AC focus just on this area and keep you as cool as possible. Same thing for heating. The more you can close off this area, the better you're going to do with that. All right, so I'll go ahead and put our bed up now. And Jody, if you want to come around to the side, we'll go into our living area. All right, so before we head inside, actually, good time to note, we do have an awning across our whole campsite here. It's a Carefree awning with an LED light bar on it. That is an automatic awning, not a manual one, so we just press a button inside and that whole thing will extend out. As you're heading in the door right here, we have a nice little table. So this table is on a strap right here, which you can just adjust. So you can adjust this to compensate if the vehicle is maybe not quite level. You can adjust that strap to get this table level. Why does that matter? Well, if you use this to cook outside at all, if you want to put your cooktop out here, it's good to not have everything just sliding around the pan. And this connects to a magnet right here. So we just push it up and now that's shut. Now, right in our doorway as well, right down here, there's actually going to be another 110 outlet. So this coach has an induction burner, just a little induction burner you plug into 110. So a lot of people will choose to use that outside at this table right here. So you have that outlet right there to be able to plug in your cooktop. Now heading inside, we have our refrigerator. What's nice about the placement of this refrigerator is on the older Revels, it used to be farther inside the coach, but they put it up here because this will allow you to be able to get into it without ever having to step foot inside the Revel. So you can access everything in this refrigerator without ever stepping into the coach. So if you're sitting, you know, at your campground, sitting around the fire, and you don't want to have to hop back in here to grab a beverage or something, you just open this door and you can reach right in. And we do have a little ice chest there up at the top. And then in our entry here, we have the same exact roll down screen cover we saw on the back door. If I just unclip this, this will roll down and completely seal off this area, and we have the see-through screen here. So again, if you want to leave your side door open while you're camping at night to get that airflow, you can roll down this screen, it'll keep all the bugs out. And one really nice thing about this entry one is if you look right here, this is actually magnetic. So your screen's going to connect to this, but you can just flip this over and it'll magnet back to that. So it makes it really easy to get in and out. You don't have to unzip it and rezip it every time you get in and out of the Revel. All right, now moving into our seating arrangement here. So this is another difference with the Revel 44E versus the Revel Sport. The Revel Sport, you would just have a bench seat here, and that bench seat would have one 3-point harness and one lap belt. With the 44E, we gain these two seats, both with 3-point harnesses. If you have passengers, this is much more comfortable for your passengers, or if you have small children, this is a lot better setup for car seats as well. But what's nice about these seats is we can actually separate them. So if I pull this little handle right here, this seat will slide out that far. So if you have two adults sitting here, they're not crammed together shoulder to shoulder, they can both kind of have their own space. Now this also comes with this Laguna table, which is right here. So you can slide this around, reposition this a little bit how you want. You can also adjust the height of this up or down, or if you want to get rid of it, it's really easy just to remove this whole table and leave it in the back or leave it at home if you don't really foresee yourself using it. Now, same window back here, we have this magnetic thermal shade, and if we remove that, we have an opening window right here as well. This one will actually open out all the way, so it provides a ton of airflow through there. And again, those cassette shades built in with the day shade and the night shade. And now, one thing to note while we're looking at the window here, this one was also optioned with the interior upgrade package. So that's why we have this nice wood grain cabinetry and we have this nice wood trim around the windows. That is part of the interior upgrade package. So it just makes the whole thing look a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more aesthetic. Right above your table, if you can look down here, Jody, you do have a USB-A and USB-C charging port. So if you want to use this as a workstation and you want to plug in a laptop or an iPad or something, you have a charging port right there for that. Now, up above these seats, we have one of our storage compartments in here. Very roomy storage compartment. This is all felted all the way throughout here. So kind of helps with sound insulation, anything you put up there, you know, not rattling around too much. And then if we look over here to the back side, there's a couple things to point out. So we have our outlets here. We also have, again, our USB and USB-C charging ports right there. But if we look up to the ceiling, this is actually a roof access port that Winnebago puts in here. So if you want to add like a Starlink Mini or something, or anything you need to wire to the roof, very easy to do it. You just have this little rubber grommet you have to punch out and you can access the roof from there. Now I'll go ahead and shut that and we'll take a look at the controls on this coach real quick. So starting at the top, this is your EcoFlow control for all the power on here. So your home screen is going to show your available time. Now available time is a really cool thing to be able to use. What this is doing is it's telling you based on your current draw in the battery's current capacity, which the battery is at 10% right now, it is telling you in hours and minutes how long you can run it before that battery is going to die. So that's a really valuable thing to have. And again, this is 16.8 kilowatts of lithium, so it's gonna last quite a while. Over here on the side, we have our input and our output. So our input's gonna show just kind of what's going on, you know, how much charging we're getting. So your alternator charging, your solar, and your shore power all on here. So right now we're not plugged into shore power, so there's no shore power, but we are getting 85 watts of solar. And also, one thing to note while we're looking at this, for the alternator, this Revel does have a second dedicated alternator that provides, I believe it's 7,400 watts of charging. So very robust for, you know, when you're driving, you get to your campsite, you're gonna have a full charge most of the time, as long as you've driven an hour or two just from that second alternator. Now on our output here, this is where we can select our AC or DC. Right now we have the AC and DC on. So that would be for your lighting and then for like your heater and your AC unit, but you could just turn them off right there. And right now this is showing we're using 107 watts. Now down here, this control panel is going to be for your Timberline system. So the Revel uses a Timberline 2.0 heater. So this heater works in two ways. First of all, this is a dual zone heater. So we have the rear and front. There's two zones for it. This can work off of diesel heat or an electric element. So if you want to use the diesel burner, you just select heater up here at the top. You can see that's lit up orange now, and that'll burn your diesel to provide heat. If you're plugged into shore power though, you can select the electric element and that'll provide heating. You can also do both. So if you're plugged into shore power and you want to get the maximum amount of heating, you can use your element as well as your diesel heater. Right here we can select our fan speed, and down here is going to be day and night, what temperature you want to program it to. So right now we have it set to 86 degrees. Now down here is going to be our water pump. This is really simple. We can just switch our water pump on or off from right here. This will display your tank levels. So right now our freshwater and gray water tanks are empty. And again, this is 35 gallons of fresh water and 21 gallons of gray water. And we can also see our battery voltage from right here. So our chassis battery voltage, 11.9 volts, house batteries at 13.8 volts. Farther down, this is just gonna be all of our light switches in here. These light switches are kind of nice because they all have a high and low setting. So in the upward position is going to be high, in the middle is off, and then we have low as well. So it just allows you to dim those lights a little bit at night. And finally, right here is going to be the control for our bed. So this does have a key, so you have to put that key in to be able to activate it. We unlock it, and then we just press these down arrows, and we can see our bed's now going to drop all the way down into place. So really easy to use. All right, now moving back into our kitchen. Let me get those out of the way. You have a pretty sizable countertop in here for any of your, any cooking you do. You have a bit of prep space here for a van. On the far side, we have one of these drawers. Now, this drawer has an insert in it that actually helps you just extend your counter space a little bit, so you can leave this insert in and use that for prep space, or you just pull that out right there. And then we'll see our induction burner. So this is just a single induction burner housed in here. You just remove this and put it wherever you want to, and you can plug it into any of your 110 outlets. So you could plug it into that 110 outlet we saw outside with the exterior table, or you could plug it in right here on the inside. There is a 110 outlet right next to where I'm standing here. And there's also going to be another spot for your USB and USB-C charging ports right there. Now, while we're looking down here, we'll take a look at the rest of our storage drawers here. One cool thing they do on this 44E is they've upgraded these latches to these actual, they're called compression latches. So if you watch this right here, as I turn this handle, it's going to go to the upright position, and then it's actually going to squeeze in. So what that'll do is just pull this drawer into the frame a little bit more. Kind of does a good job just of preventing a lot of those rattles you get when going down the road. We got two more small storage drawers down there, as well as a nice deep one down at the bottom. So any of your food or anything, that would be your ideal place for storing that. And then finally, all the way on the back side, there's just going to be one little spot for storage there. All right, now you have a stainless steel sink in here, and we have a hose on a sprayer wand, so you know, makes it easy to clean any of your dishes or anything. We have our flying W right above the sink, so a good spot to hang towels or really anything you want to hang around your sink, as well as this little basket. So nice basket for sponges, dish soap, anything again that you like to keep right around your sink. We also have one button light here for the sink, just activated right on the light itself. Now above our sink, we'll have another large storage compartment. Again, this has the felt all the way through it, so plenty of space. All right, now we take a look at our bathroom. So our bathroom, you're gonna have one compression latch up at the top and a really strong magnet down at the bottom. Now, get that open. So this is another difference with the Revel 44E. You actually have these bifold doors that just make it a little bit easier to get in here. On this side of the door, I also have a little fold-out panel. So I can fold this all out, and it just provides a little bit more privacy for when you're using the restroom. Your toilet, you can have it pointed to the side like that if you want to use the toilet and you have to get all the way in there, but you can also just shift this so it's facing towards the front, so makes it a little bit more comfortable to fit in there. That's why they give you this privacy panel up in the front. Now this also has a bamboo shelf inserted in it. This is removable. You just pull it out whenever you're gonna use the bathroom or use the shower. And they also give you these little collapsible baskets with it. Just helps provide a little bit of storage. All the way at the top, we have a curtain rod in here, as well as a little exhaust fan. So what's useful with this is a lot of people that buy V-Vans don't really use the showers too much. So you can also use this just for storage. If you're going hiking or skiing, you're coming back with dirty or wet clothes or anything, you know, the kind of thing you'll do if you're buying an adventure van, you can hang your clothing up in here on this curtain rod and turn on that exhaust fan and then just shut these doors. That exhaust fan is going to suck out all the moisture as well as keeping any smells or anything from building up in there. We do have our shower head right here. You just have the little on and off switch on the shower head, which will help you conserve water when you are taking a shower, and our hot and cold water hookup up there. And this is just a little quick connect hose, so really easy to remove this if you want to put something else in there. All right, now we'll finish up in the chassis. So again, this is built on a 2025 Mercedes Sprinter chassis. The seats in this are going to be manual seats, so all manual controls. They're not electronic seats. But these are actually heated seats. So right here on the door, you'll have a little section for your heated seats. Let me turn that down a little bit. Now, just a few things to mention on the Mercedes chassis. You will have adaptive cruise control, active lane assist, active braking assist. So a lot of safety features built in. These are all really easy to toggle on and off if you want to. We're just going to go in here into our settings and take a look at our assistance features. So your downhill speed regulation, we can toggle that on or off right there. Your collision avoidance, active brake assist, lane keeping assist, blind spot assist, all of that is really easy to just turn off and on. And the final thing that I really love about these new Mercedes is the cameras on these. You have a backup and a front camera. Well, up top actually we have a digital rear view camera, since we can't easily see out of the rear of this coach. So digital rear view camera, but on the Mercedes display right here, if I put this into drive, take a look at our front facing camera. Does it need to see that we're moving? You know what? I don't think I can show that without actually being moving, but we can show you the rear camera here. So we have a rear camera as well as a 360-degree camera. So really cool thing with your rear cameras, if you take a look at those yellow lines, as I turn the steering wheel, this will actually show you the angle that you're going. So it makes it very, very easy to get this van into any tight spaces. And then as well as our 360 camera view up at the top, we can toggle these. So I can see our side, our left rear camera, our right side camera, and there's our front camera. So when we're in drive right there, that'll show the same thing. This will show your angle, and that camera actually turns as you're turning the steering wheel. So if you're in any kind of, off-road situations, you're trying to navigate around rocks or anything, that is a really helpful feature to have. All right, so that's going to finish up our video for today. Again, my name is Peter C. All of my information is right here on this clipboard. So if you have any questions about this van, something that wasn't answered in the video, you can reach out to me at my email right there or my phone number, 719-799-8357. Thanks for watching our video.